It's a series that dates back to the 1970s, and both teams trying to get back to their heyday. About a little bit of a loose start out of the gate, but one will be firing on all cylinders after tonight. As we get started here from Jeffrey Field, Penn State for the first time this season has changed to the blue strip. The Nittany Lions will attack right to left. West Virginia, and they're all grays for the first time this season, heading left to right. Early offsides infraction from the Nittany Lions as we take you through the starting 11 for both respective sides. First for the Nittany Lions, they have Chris Shakes, usual suspect in goal, making his third consecutive start of the season. Olu Ogunwale was the member offside early on for Penn State. He's at right back, part of a back four for the Nittany Lions. Femi Awadesu and Jalen Watson, your two center backs, with Tiger Evans out at left back. Midfield four for Penn State, and Jeff Cook's traditional 4-4-2. Andrew Privet on the left, Quentin Flowers and Seth Kuhn central, Sean Bettenhausen on the right, Liam Butts, Peter Mangione, the strike partnership up top. Meanwhile, West Virginia will employ the 3-4-3. They have George Mason transfer Jackson Lee in goal for the third consecutive game. Dion Dromer's on the right side of the back three. Bjorn Thiessen operates centrally, and then the aforementioned Aaron Dank-Gracia being pulled out of position here by Butts over on the right side. Some change to the fullbacks, and Alex Clayton and Frederick Jorgensen starting the first couple of games. Max Trethewey and Sergio Ors Navarro will come in place of them. Otto Olakainen and Ryan Baer is your midfield pivot, and the front three of Ryan Crooks, Luke McCormick out wide. Along with a new change up top for the Mountaineers, Marcus Caldera comes into the side for Ciro Borlayegi.
Three changes that you mentioned, Andre, that they're trying to bring a spark. They're definitely trying to switch things up from the last two games. And the main thing, those two brand new players on the wing-back positions are trying to get a lot of touches.
Here's Ors Navarro rolling it back to his goalkeeper. I mean, you mentioned it, Juan. Penn State just one goal on the season so far. West Virginia's found the back of the net once, but they still have no goals for their team. It was an own goal in the early stages of the game and conceded 3 within 30 minutes against a very good Pitt team on the weekend, as we see Olakainen a little slow to get up here. They'll immediately tend to him, a 50-50 battle there around midfield. It's getting underway here from Jeffrey Field. Andre Maguero, Juan Mendez, Zach Gershman on the sideline. Happy you could join us here on Big Ten Plus on a beautiful Friday evening and spending the early part of your Labor Day weekend with us. As Bjorn Thiessen controls the ball here for the Mountaineers. West Virginia side, the one we were talking about it just before that stoppage. Still struggling to find the back of the net, as are the Nittany Lions. We'll get to that more later, but the Mountaineers certainly a team that like to play well in wide areas. As you see Ors Navarro, a long ball here, but dealt with by Jalen Watson as he ushers it aside to Tiger Evans.
Jalen Watson definitely a natural in that side in the left back position. He's able to recover there and help out Tiger Evans a lot, who, as we know, and the Penn State team knows, he plays a lot more offensively. So anytime he comes up, you can see Jalen Watson play in that position very effectively.
Lots of width as the Mountaineers stretch the field early. Patient in possession. Saw a lot of this early on in the game against Pittsburgh on Monday. They like to hold that ball, push up the field, very aggressive with their wingback play.
Certainly is. And you can probably see as the nerves start to break down a little bit, as the nerves start to go away, teams are going to get more aggressive, especially in the second half. First half is trying to figure each other out, feel the aggressiveness, feel the tempo of the game, and that's exactly what's happening, but you cannot get caught as Penn State puts a lot of pressure now moving up the field.
Here is Jackson Lee with the ball at his feet. Transfer backstop from George Mason. It was a four-man competition for the goalkeeping spot for the Mountaineers in preseason. Lee won it out after transferring from George Mason. All too familiar with the surface here at Jeffrey Field, where George Mason came to open up their season last year. Now an opportunity for Caldera, who's been stretched. His cross into the middle. First time touch just wide as it goes off the shin of McCormick and out for a goal kick.
Marcus Caldera, instant impact. We talked about him a little bit earlier. The fresh, very big target, very much of a target man, but they're putting in some work on the wing, trying to figure something out, get a cross in, get some shots in. That's exactly what West Virginia wants to do here. Set the tempo here at Jeffrey Field.
Now restarting play, Chris Shakes, the Penn State backstop. Career goals against just over 1 for the Nittany Lion in between the pipes tonight. And he's been a stellar contributor for this Penn State team in the early phase of the season. Nittany Lions drew their inaugural game 1-1 with Rhode Island here at Jeffrey Field, and then fell in a late goal at Syracuse. The final score line of 1-0 on Sunday. Evans with space to run into. First time cross, Mangione couldn't quite touch it down. Thiessen got goal side. It'll be a Penn State throw. Tiger Evans, who's thrived in wide areas for the Nittany Lions, winning the ball up the byline here. Support from Butts. Evans, heavy touch, and he shows too much of it back to the Mountaineers.
almost affected there. Evans and Butts on the 1-2. Now they cannot get caught in the counter. West Virginia taking over.
Crooks, Caldera begging for the ball to be played in at his feet. Instead, it's Olakainen who's back on. Just a friendly shove from Privet. Now Wars Navarro will recycle. Bear. Then Gracia. He's got Crooks out wide. Space for a low cross amongst the feet of Evans. Looking for space to clear up the line. He's got it. Support from Mangione. Header won by Thiessen before it's blasted back down. These have been the slow starts that Penn State's been synonymous with here in the early phases of games this season. Saw a Rhode Island team come out, attack Penn State aggressively at the home opener in Jeffrey Field, but Penn State's been good at absorbing that early pressure. Still, the game plan seemed to be in the early stages to try to give some of that pressure back.
It definitely is, and what you see a lot of times in Penn State's game is they usually come in hot, and eventually they start to break it down, and you see teams get a little more aggressive as the game progresses.
Well, Crooks has had free reign down that right-hand side. He nearly hooked up with McCormick again, who got it all wrong on the half volley. One or two warning signals fired by this West Virginia team. Still yet a clean look at the goal.
Showing a lot of signs of comfort. They're rotating the ball in that back three, getting comfortable, getting a good feel for what this game is looking like. The crowd, everything, all the factors that play into it. As Gracia moves the ball up past the middle of the field.
Crooks has been stretched into a wider position. His wingback, Ors Navarro, tucked inside. McCormick with the outside of the boot, thundered off of Evans. One back in the midfield by Bear. And a pinball effect, it comes out with Privet. Tried to free up Butts, but the ball just a little too much on it. It's going to be a key for Penn State as West Virginia continues to push further and further up the pitch. How can they break out with that transition play to try to get quick counters, Juan?
In order to break out, they definitely have to figure out how to get the ball back and actually be the ones that are managing the game. Managing the game is going to make it a lot easier for Penn State. They're not naturally a team that's good at countering, but they definitely can do it as West Virginia is putting in pressure.
Ball into no man's land. It was a free header for Caldera. Slightly contested by Awadesu. It just goes wide.
Penn State playing a lot of contain, a lot of waiting, lots of patience. It's a dangerous game to play, but eventually if Penn State try to definitely switch up the game plan here compared to what they usually do, there might be something that Jeff Cook has on his hands in the ace of his palm.
And he talked about it, Juan, playing more in control of the game. It's something that Jeff Cook called for his team this week. Said he wanted posed in possession. We'll see if the Nittany Lions can get a good spell here out of this goal kick as Shakes sends his outfield players long. Senior goalkeeper out of Parkland, Florida. He's been a consistent force for this Nittany Lions team. 9 saves on Sunday against Syracuse, his second most in a game for the Nittany Lions in his career.
Got to mention, 14 saves in the 2 games they've played so far, 65 saves in last season, so he already has a big margin there in just 2 games, Chris Shakes.
McCormick was trying to wiggle his way through a pack of Nittany Lions. It comes back free to Penn State and Watson. Femi Awadesu, one of the preseason Big Ten players to watch for this Penn State side, who's interested in protecting their league double that they did last season with the regular season and tournament title. They're picked as preseason favorites.
Great job. You got to mention it by Awadesu, filling in the role, filling in for the shoes of Brendan Hackenberg, who departed to the MLS to Orlando. And very good job in imposing that role at the center back position for Femi Awadesu.
31st consecutive start for Awadesu tonight. He's played outside back and done a lot of inside play, as Juan mentioned as well. Another cross towards the back post, rising header over the top. But Caldera arriving again, now just behind him, McCormick. Someone went over the top.
That's about the 3rd or 4th notable attack by West Virginia. They're coming out here firing early with just 10 minutes into the game.
Couple of shots for the Mountaineers. They have yet to challenge Chris Shakes. The Nittany Lions have not thundered a shot away yet. One worth mentioning is a Penn State team that's conceding a lot more shots and higher volume than we're used to seeing. That second half against Syracuse on Sunday, outshot 20-3. That's not like the Penn State team we've seen the past couple of years.
Oh, it definitely is not. It's not what you expect at all, especially with the players that you the names that you hear when you hear this Penn State offense, you hear a lot of goal scorers, a lot of potential there, but only 3 shots in the entire second half compared to, you're going to hear this correct, this is right information here, 20 shots by Syracuse.
Here's the first look for the Nittany Lions as Privet has space to run into. He couldn't quite squeak through Mangione. Signs that Penn State's growing into the game. Flowers, his first touch. Bettenhausen has a lone Penn State tally this season. Privet, more of a central role.
Privet was so good last year. Got to mention that.
Second team all Big Ten. Led Penn State in goals. You think of Peter Mangione being the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. Guys like Danny Bloyu who are firing on all cylinders the last couple of seasons. But Andrew Privet very quietly had himself a very productive year. And he really pulls the strings for this Penn State team, whether it's in a central role like he is right now, playing off of Butts and Mangione, or even out wide.
Him and Seth Kuhner just rocks in the midfield. Very versatile both on the offense and the defense. And Privet definitely stepped up on the offense with 9 goals and 4 assists. Very, very much involved in the scoring and the success of Penn State last season.
Throw in here for the Mountaineers to try to cushion some of this Penn State pressure. Where's Navarro looking for an option? It's a West Virginia side that's fresh into a new conference this season, expansion into the Sun Belt Conference, coming off their first Elite Eight appearance in 40 years. It's been a quick rise to the top for this Mountaineers team, and a quick start for them as well. McCormick slides through one. Now here's Crooks, who can take it first time, but it's wide.
Closed the gap right on time, Tiger Evans there. Didn't let Crooks get comfortable and get a good shot on goal. But again, it's a lot of pressure there by West Virginia. They got the initiative so far here at Jeffrey Field.
Head coach Jan Stratford calls Ryan Crooks the Energizer Bunny, and he has been all over that right side of the pitch here in the early going, whether it's in a wide position, an opportunity to take a shot there, but the Englishman has certainly made it impact early.
That is one of the great nicknames I've heard in college soccer for sure.
Mountaineers might have another bite at the apple here. Watson, a well-timed challenge, but they're not out of harm's way yet. Kuna, no-nonsense clearance. Penn State again. Have to sit back and allow West Virginia to control for the time being. Where's Navarro? Lakainen. It's looked no worse for wear since coming back on. Certainly a good sign. Now Crooks. Where's Navarro? Tucked inside again. Across for Caldera. Can't get past the lead man in Watson. Bear. Pinged for Caldera. What a play for Lakainen. Crooks. Face to face. Towards his back stick. No-timed run. We'll see it roll out of play.
Crooks there with the left foot. The ball diverted away from the player he was trying to reach, but again, West Virginia playing keep away right now on the Penn State side, and it's working very well. Certainly something that was in the talks in the coaching and in the pregame, that they want to have possession in this game if they want to have some more shots and attempts, and it is working very effectively as of now.
And arriving at the back post was Max Trethaway, the other wingback for this Mountaineers side. Another giveaway from the Nittany Lions. Ors Navarro. Bears controlled play in the midfield. Caldera's out wide again. Face to face with Evans. His cross. And he finds the back corner flag. McCormick. Challenged by Flowers. Trethaway's first time pass went by the wayside. Still works out to his intended target. Pinball on the edge of the box. Butts, the victim of a foul, and Penn State bailed out by the referee's whistle.
And there's the first foul against the Mountaineers. Hopefully lets Penn State reset, get a breather, figure something out, get a play going here very early in this first half.
It's been a pretty clean contest so 15 minutes in if you're just joining us. Andre Maguero, Juan Mendez. 3 early shots for the Mountaineers. Still no shots on target for either side. And Penn State and West Virginia. 2 teams regarded highly in the preseason polls. Mountaineers came in the highest ever program preseason ranking at number 6. They've humbled earlier this week by the Pitt Panthers, and Penn State trying to look for win number 1 on the campaign.
That game against Pitt definitely showed a lot of the weaknesses in this West Virginia team. One of them being sometimes the effectiveness of this defense, which allowed 13 shots by Pitt.
Here's an early look for the Nittany Lions. Privet. First time cross Mangione, couldn't get on the end of it. A no-nonsense clearance from Thiessen. Preseason Mac Herman watch list and All-American from a season ago, and Ogunwale slips, and now the rush might be on for the Mountaineers. McCormick, his other two forwards joining him. Out wide for Caldera, but Penn State's able to get bodies back through Bettenhausen.
Dangerous play by Ogunwale, getting a bit of a slip, almost touched the ball with his left hand. That could have been very dangerous there as the transition was occurring, but nonetheless, Penn State able to recover. And a name that we haven't mentioned so far, Sean Bettenhausen, the sole scorer for Penn State so far this season, who had a wonderful goal with the left foot against Rhode Island. Was not able to grant them that win, but again, Bettenhausen has played a big role this season so far. The most playing time he probably should get is this season, and this is his time for sure there in the midfield.
Well, Juan, you've alluded to some of the bodies that Penn State is missing this season compared to their Big Ten. Triumphing team a year ago. One of them's out there on the right. No more Pierre Reedy, so you're looking for somebody to come in and be effective. And Sean Bettenhausen is somebody who's earned a lot of praise so far from Jeff Cook in his time. Cook said earlier this week, we knew what he was capable of. We've already seen him here in this program for a year, but he certainly has had the goal threat as well as the defensive stability that Pierre Reedy brought for so many years.
Oh, certainly, and the confidence that he must have right now as well is definitely a huge boost for him. Bettenhausen playing much of a bigger role this year, and that has to feel real good.
Shakes to settle things down for an errant long ball, and it's giving the Nittany Lions a chance to get the wind back under their sails here early. Here's another newcomer on this Penn State team, one with a lot more experience, Olu Ogunwale. Michigan State transfer, plays it back to the stable body of Awadesu.
Ogunwale, a frequent starter for Michigan State, able to really quickly, is this his first start, I believe? Ogunwale already being able to start here with this Penn State team, who definitely needed somebody else in that position, somebody new, somebody fresh. But they have a lot of depth there in that position as well with Samuel Olofsson. They have Alex Stevenson, a veteran here in this Penn State system. They have a lot of players that could fit that role, and he has been doing a great job so far.
McCormick. Out for Crooks. Evans, good cover. Privet stabilizes. To your point about Olu Ogunwale, the Michigan State transfer, 58 games of major Division I soccer under his belt. Was also part of a Michigan State side that made the College Cup back in 2018. Certainly one of those experienced bodies you always like bringing into your side. A little shove in the back from Dengracia on butts. Some jeers from the crowd, but nothing more forthcoming. Penn State's looking to get back on the front foot. It's off Evans last, and a throw to the Mountaineers. Crooks. Spaced across towards the back post. It's down, Caldera's flick, and he knocks it in.
Caldera with a heads-up play, beating Penn State. Having more initiative, Penn State not enough urgency there inside the box. West Virginia takes the lead early in this half.
First assist of the season for Crooks and Trethewey. First chance at the set-piece delivery from Seth Kuhn. Now Awadesu is going to give it a go. Takes a deflection. It is a Penn State corner. Flowers in, but stationary for the Nittany Lions. In swinger towards the back post. Took a nick off the head of McCormick. It's a corner on the other side for the Nittany Lions. And their best wave of pressure so far, Juan. It's Kuhn to take. To a dangerous delivery once more, but the Mountaineers are able to get it away. Evans. Fancy footwork. Header one down. Mangione couldn't win the race as Thiessen hacked it free.
Flowers couldn't get the right touch there to get it to Kuhn, and now fighting off the pressure. Great tackle by Flowers, recovering the ball, giving it to Ogunwale. That could have been very dangerous, but again, Quentin Flowers heads up play.
Really good challenge from the freshman to prevent McCormick from going on his way. And this is another body that's settled in to a position here for Penn State of need. Central midfield has been an issue where they've been dealing with some injuries, and Flowers, the freshman from Tennessee, hasn't put too many feet wrong so far.
That is certain. He's got that presence in the middle. You can say that about a lot of players here in the Penn State midfield, but he's definitely very, very much aware of where to be, where to rotate, when to go behind Kuhn, when to go in front of him, and especially where to be at on the defensive side.
Here's Ogunwale. Mangione. It's on his side, a free kick. 17 career assists for Seth Kuhn in over 55 games. He clips this one in. Watson's header into a dangerous area, Butts had the touch. It stays in play, and the Mountaineers trying to get it out of harm's way.
Strong tackle by Privet, getting the ball back, keeping it in the Mountaineers' side. The game is certainly speeding up now. Awadesu.
Want it back from Bear. Awadesu, it's cannoned off Olakainen. Mountaineers looking to break. That's a foul there, and West Virginia do get it out of harm's way for the time being.
Unhappy.
Henderson hasn't seen any game action yet this season, but the Lions searching for some answers after another slow start. Here's a chance for Caldera. Awadesu got across. Just like that, end-to-end action, the Mountaineers have a corner. Redshirt junior from Spain is in swinger. Dangerous ball, and shove in the back is allowed Penn State to win the free kick here. Brilliant ball pinged out here to Bettenhausen. He's got Butts in the box. Mangione arriving as a reinforcement, but well-timed block from Trethaway. He just pestered a little by Butts as he gets it out. Where's Navarro? Bear. Dromers with room to roam. Gracia, the German captain. For Crooks.
It almost seems that Penn State's just waiting for them to take up all that space. Maybe embrace the opportunity of a counter. But as of now, it definitely seems that Penn State, the thing on their plans right now is use momentum to their advantage, waiting on the Mountaineers to strike first.
Crooks. Make a run in field. Nobody challenging him. He'll put it out wide here to Trethaway. Flings it back post. Nobody arriving. Shakes will watch it all the way for a goal kick. Here comes the aforementioned change as Henderson makes a season debut. He'll spell Liam Butts.
That is an interesting change, as it seems that he is listed as a defensive player, 5'10". It looks like he's filling into the left back position, maybe allowing Tiger Evans to play up. What do you think about this change, Andre?
And we're seeing Tiger Evans take a more advanced role, and now more of a front three from Penn State. See Evans playing off the left-hand side, and then you have Privet and Mangione up top. It's taking their most dangerous attacking players and putting them further forward.
A bit abstract. The first time we've seen this so far this season, but it might be the answer to what's happening right now. 16 minutes left. Penn State needs to do something if they want to go into halftime with an even, maybe a lead. But going into the half, being one down, definitely plays a toll in your players mentally and physically.
Penn State's starting to take the shape more of a 4-3-3 right now. You have Flowers playing deeper in the midfield. Kuhn and Bettenhausen playing further advanced, and then the front three mentioned with Mangione, Privet, and Evans. Mangione trying to test this one down. He flicked out of harm's way from Olakainen. Hard challenge on McCormick, but he's able to retain possession. Trethewey in the teeth of the student section and now out for Bear. Minutes left in half number 1-1. This change give Penn State any more ability to play out on the front foot, you'd say?
It definitely gives a lot of advantage to what they know they're good at, or that they've been good at this season. We did say there's a bit of a lack of presence in the close quarters when they're in attack, in that bit of dribbling, the bit of individual play that can lead to a goal, and the perfect person to bring that is Tiger Evans. So it's not a bad move putting Evans a little bit higher, making Privet move a little bit forward. We know he can cut in, score it from wherever. But putting in a freshman at this point, at this stance, with a team with really good wingers might be a little bit dangerous. But again, it might be the answer.
Jeff Cook talked about it preseason, the ability for Penn State to rotate some of their bodies and how important squad depth was going to be in a very congested out-of-conference schedule. And Nittany Lions haven't had all of their first-choice players available through the first 2+ matches of the season, but they're certainly making the most, and a big opportunity here for Henderson, who had that last throw-in. Meanwhile, a team that plays with plenty of depth in the Mountaineers haven't made any substitutions yet, as Kuhn favoring that left foot, and now Henderson's going to play it out of play.
Might have been an even challenge there. Both players trying to strike the ball. Kuhn definitely got the worst of it in that situation.
A couple of changes for the Mountaineers out of that stoppage. Adam Burchell comes in for the Mountaineers, along with Ciro Borlayegi. First action for the Argentine striker, as he'll spell Marcus Caldera up top. If you're just joining us here, Andre Magaro, Juan Mendez with you on Big Ten Plus. West Virginia has come out of the gates roaring. The Mountaineers have had 4 of the game's first 5 shots. They lead 1-0 on a Luke McCormick tally, assisted by Ryan Crooks and Max Trethewey.
Not a bad move at all by the Mountaineers, bringing in there. He just touched the ball. That was Borlayegi, 6'3" junior out of Santa Fe, Argentina. 6 goals last season. You know, he's dangerous. They try to put in a different player there in Caldera at the start of the game. Is Tiger Evans. Wonderful move.
Evans starting to thrive in a more advanced role. Privet can't find Mangione, and it's back at the feet of Jackson Lee. Be right with Borlayegi. His 6 goals led the team last season, despite not being a full-time starter. It was all Mac's second-team selection. He only started 7 of the 21 matches for the Mountaineers on the season.
I mean, 6 goals and 7 starts. That's a pretty good ratio. Another very dangerous player in this West Virginia team.
Lions set to make another substitution shortly. It's Michael Gaines getting ready on the touchline. Another likely defensive change for Jeff Cook's bunch. Here's Seth Kuhn, who's back to his feet following the tough challenge from McCormick. Now Logan Wale, the Michigan State transfer. Ball's back at the feet of the Penn State captain, Kuhn. Transfer of his own right, came over here after a season at Duke, the 4-year Nittany Lion. Evans ball in. The tandem of Dengracia and Ors Navarro trying to deal with it. Privet harasses him. At the end of the day, it's a goal kick. And Bettenhausen, who was playing out wide to the right, is tucked in that pivot, I should say, with Seth Kuhn.
Possibly a Penn State 5 at the back, if so, but Gaines seems to be more in the midfield. That is true.
Here's somebody that's been all over. Ryan Crooks, another dangerous cross. Watson's header got it away. Back to Crooks again. The Englishman has had his way tonight. Cuts in on his left foot. Down in a heap. Free kick. Dangerous spot for the Mountaineers. It's Olakainen. It's over the top. Had the bend, just didn't have the dip on.
Did not have the dip on it. It did curl very nicely toward Chris Shakes, as he did give it a bit of a direction there to go over the players. But like you said, not enough dip. Pretty difficult to do. Nonetheless, would have been very, very impressive as Penn State trying to regain some ground.
Another change for the Mountaineers. Frederick Jorgensen, a like-for-like swap at left wingback was Max. First time we've seen the Dane tonight for the Mountaineers, just their second change of this first half, which continues to dwindle its way down. Just one shot so far for the Nittany Lions in this first half. But here's a goal side run for Tiger Evans. Where's Navarro trying to close him down, and he gives the ball back. But Evans comes right back in his own regard. Chance to run at Dengracia, but a well-timed challenge. Could come short. It's the in-swinger from Privet. Headed up in the air by Dengracia. Lee can only fist it away. Comes out for Henderson. His cross back to the post. Bettenhausen across the face. And it's cleared out of harm's way, but regardless, it is a free kick for the Mountaineers. Dangerous moment there for the Nittany Lions.
Very dangerous. Bettenhausen, good job at tracking the ball. I'm unsure whether or not it went out of bounds. We're going to see that here on the replay as Henderson with a filthy cross, the ball straight away. It did look like it might have gone out of bounds. Just enough.
Very close. Bjorn Thiessen had it covered for the Mountaineers right in front of his goalkeeper, Jackson Lee. But nervy moments for West Virginia, maybe for the first time tonight as Mangione applies the press here. No nonsense from Dromers. Watson wins the header. Evans. Boy, he is special. Running at men one-on-one. Flips it back infield. Ors Navarro had the cover.
Evans put his right hand in his stomach. He might need a little bit of a breather after all the work he's trying to put in on the left wing position.
Jorgensen's first involvement, Bear. McCormick, loose touch. Ogunwale recovers. And it's a West Virginia throw. Well, it's been about 15 minutes since we've seen the Mountaineers go up. What have you seen from this Penn State response? The Nittany Lions look better, more threatening for you since going down?
Penn State seems a little bit more reactive. They do get the ball out with more purpose now when they go on the attack, but it hasn't been insanely clean. It hasn't been very polished by Penn State. West Virginia definitely the more polished team as we have a player down currently on the field.
Sean. Elijah Borneo on as well for West Virginia as we reach the closing stages of this first half. Here's Dengracia. Bettenhausen looks ready to re-enter on the touchline. Borneo. Olakainen. Dromers threads it for Jorgensen. Seeing Liscombe come in, join Mangione on that front foot, trying to apply the press for Penn State, but still been cool, calm, and collected in possession for the Mountaineers. Not what we saw on Monday in Pittsburgh. Certainly a different result so far tonight.
Bit dangerous there by Henderson, but he's assuming his role very well as he's dealing with a lot of pressure by Ryan Crook specifically. And now coming in, the fifth-year player Elijah Borneo out of Morgantown, Virginia. Played 19 games in last season. Very active as we see him completely by himself there on the right wing position, helping in Crooks, putting in a little bit of work, trying to explode and really use that near sideline.
Borneo with the ball at his feet here. One of several hometown products on this West Virginia roster. Transferred from Kentucky and wins his side a free kick here. Can add now conference rival Kentucky with the new conference realignment in the Sun Belt this season. Looks like a fun conference. You got Marshall in there, another power that's won a national title recently. It's shaping up to be a good conference.
Oh yeah, definitely shaping up to be. Lots of talent everywhere, spreading all around the country. And you do love to see competition at its best.
Penn State another opportunity to press, but once again, the Mountaineers have had the answer.
And it's been a few minutes now. Penn State still playing with 10 on the field. Benhausen still on the sideline waiting to come in.
Into the box, it's Jorgensen, tries to cut it back, keeps possession. First time ball off the head of Awadesu, and the shot from Borneo was scuffed, and no nonsense clearance from Watson to go one off the West Virginia man last. Penn State will have a goal kick.
Great job by Watson closing in on that play. Could have been another dangerous spill by the Penn State defense, but Watson said not this time. Puts a foot in there, gets the right deflection. Penn State with a possession now. 4 minutes left.
Chance here for Henderson on the ball. Privet's moved a little more centrally, beats a man there. Mangione a lot deeper as he picks up possession in his own half. Henderson. Over the top of Liscombe. Borneo does a good job of covering there. Feels like the passage of play is getting more progressive from this Penn State team, but every time they get in towards that penalty box, West Virginia has bodies back to cover.
That's the perfect word, I would say, progressive. We saw Mangione drop back, carry the ball forward. We saw Henderson there with a bit of a sprint, a sweet move. That's what they need to do, bring in that spark, bring in that danger. Because as of now, this West Virginia team is dominating the midfield, making all these channels awkward and putting in a lot of pressure, 3 at a time, as we saw there.
Flag goes up on Gaines. That'll spell the end of this Nittany Lion attack. Rather a throw as Bear retrieves the ball back in play. Good anticipation there from Evans. He's got one last burst of energy with him. Gaines making the run. Gaines cross will have to wait. Takes a deflection off the Mountaineer, getting back in Jorgensen. Penn State will have a 4th corner.
Gaines right on the line, nailed enough of the body, enough of the shoulder there to not get a foul, get himself a corner. Great, great way to put in some pressure now, Penn State. 2 minutes left.
Bettenhausen back on. Let's come off. Under 2 minutes now to go in half number 1. Penn State approaching over 3 halves of scoreless football. Coons delivery. Back post. Ogunwale couldn't catch the volley cleanly. Awadesu scored against the Mountaineers a season ago. Henderson back into the box. Back post header. It's in. Who else? Peter Mangione.
There he is, Peter Mangione. There's the Jeffrey jump. An absolute ball. Puts it right on his head. Mangione just has to put his head on it. It was already there either way. Mangione gets himself his first goal of the season. Ties this game right before.
First goal of the season, first goal in 6 games for Peter Mangione. And Captain Clutch finds the back of the net when the Nittany Lions needed it most. But you're right on, Juan. How about that ball?
It was close, but it will stand, as you said, Mangione.
Just like that, fresh life in here at Jeffrey Field as we close in on halftime. And Gracia, and now the Mountaineers will have to go again.
Now West Virginia must be happy that there's only 1 minute remaining, because momentum is something dangerous, especially when you're playing against Penn State, unless they want to strike again, as they're trying to do so right now.
Good first touch to control, but it's out. Ogunwale throw in for the Mountaineers. Inside of a minute to go. Then Gracia. Borneo. Looking for space across. Henderson continues the efficiency, not just offensively. He's putting in a shift defensively as well.
Doing a great job. Penn State just seems to get really good fullbacks.
And Gracia holds possession. Just 13 seconds for the Mountaineers. Thiessen. Jorgensen, bodies coming into the box. Back post, Crooks looking to keep it in. It's behind the goal, and that's how the first half will come to a close here at Jeffrey Field. Where we are with half number 2. As two sides looking to get back on track here in 2022, do battle once more. Press from Penn State to get things started. Juan didn't get to ask you before the restart of play as Tiger Evans takes the ball back here to Mangione. We'll give it a minute. Evans set on his horse, trying to win the race to the loose ball. He will get the better of Den Gracia. Dragging the big center back out of position. Den Gracia gets the block and the clearance. Juan, what are you looking for each of these sides here in the second half to break this deadlock?
In the second half, I'm looking forward to what I'm seeing just now, which is a Penn State about 5 at the back. They said, you know what, we could use some wingers too. Let's see the work that these wingers can put in. Michael Gaines, veteran there, now playing at the right wing back position. In the left wing back position, we have none other than, of course, Henderson, but we have right above him Tiger Evans, who we also spoke about a lot. He got a bit of a breather. We want to see what type of impact he's going to have in the second half, as we already have seen him a little bit touching that ball.
Well, the Nittany Lions have certainly started on the front foot here in half number 2, albeit early. Ogunwale is going to take this throw. He really encapsulates that back 3 for Penn State, as Juan said, that the Nittany Lions are employing in possession. You've got Watson, Awadesu, and Ogunwale in your back 3, and the wing backs you mentioned of Gaines and Henderson. Ogunwale cheating forward. There is a bump in the back. West Virginia will get the free kick as Ogunwale, the guilty party there on McCormick.
Ogunwale, very, very aggressive player, but he does it efficiently. But got arrived a little bit too late there on that opportunity. As Dromers kicks it out, opens up the field for the Mountaineers.
Saw Otto Alakainen favoring his right hand at times after a nasty challenge in that first half. He now has that right arm taped up in the midfield right there for the Mountaineers. That'll certainly be something to watch as he won that last free kick there for West Virginia. First time ball for Gaines to chase after. Gets it away from McCormick, and we're seeing a lot more whistles now early on from these officials, something that Zach Hirschman talked to us about there out of the halftime break. The need for maybe more fouls to be called, a little quicker whistle from the officials, if you will, in a game that has such high tension, such high physicality as this one.
For sure. We talk about the job of the players here and keeping things clean, keeping things, nice and even. But again, the referee is going to be probably very active in the second half as things are getting very fast, very feisty, very aggressive for both teams who really want this win, their first win of the season. West Virginia already got themselves a win. Penn State's looking for their first, especially at home.
Mountaineers with 6 fouls, Penn State with 4. Ogunwale stepped up again, was unable to keep it in play. He's being urged on by this Jeffrey Field crowd as the Nittany Lions continue to keep their foot on the gas. Trethewey loads of space on the left-hand side. Here's McCormick, though, centrally.
3 people in the box for the Mountaineers.
Nobody would receive the layoff, and said it's just Seth Kuhn. Kuhn, a third-round pick in most recent installment of the MLS Super Draft. Got an opportunity post-college to play for the New York Red Bulls, but back in the blue and white here in 2022 as it stands. Henderson, that took a ricochet up high. It's just a Penn State throw. Seth Kuhn talked about this week. Penn State coming out, matching that aggression of their opponent, trying to take the game to them. Something the Nittany Lions pride themselves on. They've certainly grown into this one. Gaines. Turns on the afterburners against Trethewey. Needs him in his wake, but not so without committing an infraction, and Jeff Cook not too happy about the call.
Gaines try to utilize that pace, but just not enough to beat Trethewey, who plays a wingback position as well. Mountaineers able to get that ball back, take their time. Dromers calmly passes it back to Jackson Lee.
We've seen West Virginia very aggressive yet in possession in this second half. There is a change though. Ors Navarro was a mainstay on that right side at wing back in the first half. We're seeing Burchell out there right now for West Virginia to start the second 45. Long ball from Lee. Gives Henderson some ground to cover. Good ball over the top for Evans. Can do what he does best. And on the contested ball, it is a Penn State throw. Actually give the Nittany Lions a free kick here, saying it went off the hand of a Mountaineer defender. And take it back to Ogunwale. There's the Michigan State transfer again. West Virginia beginning to apply their press. That was Burchell in the midst of Jalen Watson. No foul called, but Henderson's back.
Burchell, who we didn't see too much of in the first half, now very active, putting a lot of pressure. As we see now, 5 guys in the West Virginia team in the Penn State half, applying that pressure by 2s, by 3s, making sure there's no comfort as the blue and white tries to leave their own half, trying to fabricate a play.
Penn State finally plays the outlet ball. And now the Nittany Lions can break Evans. Chance to run at the back line, and it falls kindly for Bettenhausen. Here's Gaines. Ogunwale making a run into the box. Instead, it's a low cross, cut back. Edge of the area, Bettenhausen wide. Had to go is up in arms with the official, saying it should have been a corner. Referee does not see any such deflection, but a dangerous counterattack for Penn State.
Not a bad idea to take a crack at it there, Bettenhausen, but it didn't connect as he wanted. It was hard to curl around the player as we have somebody in the Mountaineer team go down. Looks like the captain.
Fouls even at 6 apiece, but it feels like that number has climbed steadily over the past 15 minutes or so, dating back to that first half. McCormick can't get past Gaines. Mountaineers throw. Jeffrey Field faithful, urging on their side. Of course, they've been spoiled rotten. A couple of big moments here in years past, particularly that Big Ten title game last season. A threatening cross, but it's out of play for a throw. And the men's and women's doubleheader a couple weeks ago. And a big crowd on hand tonight as Trethewey gets his look at a cross. Awadesu, no nonsense. He'll get it away, but it's another West Virginia throw.
West Virginia trying to ruin the fun, trying to silence Jeffrey Field right now. Awadesu saying no comfortably there on that clear, but it's going to be a corner nonetheless for the Mountaineers. Similar strategy to what they did in the first half, coming out with a lot more aggression, a lot more opportunity, and trying to get the shot count up.
Just the Mountaineers' second corner as that ball was deemed to go out at the end line. In swinger. Out off the cranium last of a body in gray. Penn State will have a goal kick. Awadesu put under a lot of pressure. Outlet ball for Privet. Heads it down beautifully for Mangione. Flag stays down. Gaines. West Virginia touch lines up in arms, but play still goes on. Bettenhausen. Kuhn. And then the Lions will reverse flanks here. Watson was sent off in this fixture last season in Morgantown. He's had a much better performance tonight.
Certainly has. Last time these two teams met, West Virginia won 3-1. That was last year by a goal by Jorgensen, who we have here in this game. And the assist came from McCormick, Orz Navarro, and then Grosser. 3 players that are very active in this game so far for the Mountaineers.
Olakainen wins possession back. Here's the aforementioned McCormick. Referee was willing to play advantage, but now blows it back. And West Virginia, their first real chance to challenge since that corner. They have a free kick.
Penhausen again, another foul there in the midfield. Referee, get a light word with him. As we have here, Awodesu gets the pass, but not the right timing there. Interesting call there as both players arrived almost at the same time, but it looked like the ball was in possession of the Mountaineer player.
Burchell raises his left arm. Floated towards the back post. Headed back across, touchdown, McCormick off the bar, rebounds in. Set piece specialist. And the big body from the back comes forward as the Mountaineers retake the lead. It's Dion Dromers finding the back of the net.
Dion Dromers, 6'3" redshirt senior. Very complicated ball, very well placed, all the way on the other side. Tiger Evans could just look at it. It was headed over, a bit of a spill, bit of a miscommunication. Lots of action, hits the post, but right place, right time. Dion Dromers gives the lead to the Mountaineers. All smiles for him.
The big center back from the Netherlands finds the back of the net. It's his 6th career goal for the redshirt senior. Could come at a better time for this West Virginia team. And now Penn State, after all of that pressure, has to chase the game once more.
That's why he had 3 goals last season, being right place, right time in those situations, knowing where to wait for the ball, where it's going to fall for you, and being able to capitalize as he did right there.
Dion Dromers has been the guy at the right place at the right time for this Mountaineers team. Juan mentioned 3 goals last season. He was injured against Penn State when these two teams met in Morgantown a season ago and missed half the season. He's unable to make a return, somebody that can pivot regularly between center back and even slot into that midfield at times. He's usually known more for his long-range efforts, but certainly won't mind a goal on the doorstep there. Now the Mountaineers a chance for more. McCormick was unable to keep that ball in. Nittany Lions looking to restart play quickly. Instead, it's all Dion Dromers.
It's a ball.
Bear sprays it across the park. Chested down and drug out wide by Burchell. Trethaway. Olakainen. Mountaineers, a tough team to beat when they play multiple goals. They've won 42 of their last 45 games when scoring twice or more. And in pole position here, Trethaway. Edge of the box, Caldera. Passed out with Awodesu off of Gaines. That could have went anywhere. Shakes, dives as it goes whiskers wide and out for a corner.
That could have gone anywhere, and that anywhere is called net. That was very scary as the ball was swerving inward toward the goal, about 1 foot away, I would say, a little bit more. Very dangerous by Gaines, but very fortunate that it didn't make it 3 for the Mountaineers.
Orz Navarro back on. He'll take the corner. Looking for for a near post flick. It was a thumping clearance from Gaines. McCormick. Then Gracia. Where's Navarro? Versus flanks. McCormick back. Olakainen. Cross into the box, headed down off of Awadesu, and he flings it out of way.
That Caldera and Awadesu battle is not disappointing. Two very tall players, two very active players right now in the second half as well. As you can see them marking each other on the field. And somebody is warming up now in the Penn State bench, and that somebody's Liam Butts.
Lions will be looking for more of a direct attacking outlet as Awadesu needed all of the 6'3" frame to get that one out of midair. Union Academy product spells the danger, but here come the Mountaineers again. Edge of the area, Shakes can't come, and it's a fantastic stop at his near post. Across the face of goal and peeled off the line for the Penn State keeper.
Orson Navarro with a great adjustment, looked like a wide receiver adjusting for an overhead throw, gets the ball right on his head, places it in a very dangerous place, but Chris Shakes able to react, grasp it, and take care of that ball, not let it go into the net. Bit of safety for Penn State.
Inside half an hour to play, and the Mountaineers look like the more likely side to add on to their lead. Stellar stop from Shakes to keep it at a 1-goal game. Here they come again. Ors Navarro over the head of Caldera. Watson just got it right to Gaines. Now, Mountaineers will watch that one roll aimlessly out of play from Logan Wallet.
We have two players come in as well in the Mountaineers side. That is Ryan Crooks. We know what he's capable of on the right side. And also coming in is Frederick Jorgensen coming in now for the Mountaineers. And as we said, Liam Butts trying to bring another spark for Penn State in the offense. Joined up top by Peter Mangione, the goal scorer for them.
Birchall and Trethaway make way for the Mountaineers. And that duo on the right side, Juan, that really had all the success building up to the first Mountaineers goal is now back. You've got the infield runs of Ors Navarro and Crooks in those wider positions. The Mountaineers are looking for more. They're not looking to keep this at a 2-1 game.
They're looking for more for sure. Very active in those transitions, those that Penn State really needs as they're trying to develop one right now.
Instead, Privet trying to launch a counter. Heavy touch from Mangione. Couldn't quite get around the big body defender again in Dromers. But he's back on. Kuhn. Evans.
And if you're Penn State now, you're looking for something from one of your midfield players, very likely, in terms of Andrew Privet sliding in, getting an attack, working it himself, putting the ball in a position where a Penn State player can make a move and go and do a through ball any sort of way that they can figure out to get an attack and a comfortable shot. As we know, Liam Butts, it's likely that he's going to stay until the rest of the game, being able to spark something for Jeff Cook. It is very likely that he's not going to leave, as they put in their both two starting strikers now in the field.
Evans a chance to run to the back line. Henderson on the overlap in towards Butts. Lee lays claim. It's better from Penn State though.
Much better, much better. It was basically instant impact, but West Virginia, if there's one thing they don't want to do is to lay back and, as they say, park the bus. That is the biggest mistake you can make. And the first 15 minutes, maybe even 20 of the second half, West Virginia came in attacking. And if they want to win and really seal this, they have to do the exact same. They have a very comforting win to beat Penn State in this stage.
Mountaineers have had success against Penn State in recent history. They're 5-1-1 against the Nittany Lions since 2006, despite Penn State's heavy dominance in the all-time series. It's been a new era of soccer for West Virginia since the turn of the century. And after a trip to the Elite Eight last season, looking to get back there after a rocky start to 2022. On top here, and a win in State College would go a long way for them. Jorgensen. Yarn Thiessen. The rock in the middle of this Mountaineer back line. He's got a foot to play a pass or two. McCormick runs away from Privet. He's caught from behind, and it's another Mountaineer free kick. The fouls are beginning to stockpile right now for this Nittany Lions side, and it appears Andrew Privet will be the first in blue and white to have his name in the book tonight.
It wasn't the hardest challenge, but it might have been maybe a comment out of Privet afterwards. Unsure why the cause of the yellow card. Nonetheless, it was a transition in play. Might have caused that itself.
And that's been coming for Privet. That's his third foul in the match. First two came rather early in the game, but as the physicality continues to boil here at Jeffrey Field, referee's trying to get a cap on it. Side flag goes up, and the set piece opportunity goes by the wayside. Chance for Nittany Lions to get their attack going. It's a long ball from Ogunwale. Sedges back with Olakainen. Bear. Crooks. Bengracia. Penn State press trying to go to work, but Mountaineers certainly have strength in numbers. You'd like to see a little more aggressiveness maybe from Penn State if they're going to try to win that ball up the field.
Certainly, and there's going to be a lot of demanding. It's going to be very demanding for Penn State to do this. And the way the body is going right now, 20 minutes into the second half, it's asking for a lot, but Penn State has to do so. Mangione, he's been in this entire match. Liam Butch just came in. You need to see a lot of press by him, a lot of activity in the midfield, recovering the ball and getting some attacks going for Penn State if they want to counteract to this Mountaineer lead.
Handball from Butts allows the Mountaineers to restart play and possession. Not too much tenacity to the attack, but they can transition quickly. McCormick dances around Henderson, and now loads of space left on the vacated left side. Watson has to slide over. It's clearance only as far as Dengracia.
For those watching at home, if there's one thing you could certainly notice is the speed that West Virginia is playing with. They're playing a lot faster, and Penn State's having to react to that speed and catch up to it. That's what's setting the tempo right now for West Virginia. The speed, being able to control this game from the back line all the way forward. It's what's giving them the lead right now.
Ogunwale run it back from Jorgensen, but is unable to find that outlet ball, and you got to feel that's the difference between the two sides right now as cross comes in, Awadesu chests it down. Penn State can play that outlet, but they haven't been connecting with their passes like West Virginia has, particularly in the middle of the field with guys like Ryan Bear and Olakainen who have really helped them control possession. Ball's rolled out, couple of substitutions upcoming. Either way you slice it as a Mountaineer does go down. Looks like a bit of cramps. See Ciro Borlai Yegi reintroduced up top for the Mountaineers as Caldera will take a breather. Trainer comes on for second time tonight for the Mountaineers. It's B1G.
we'll see how much that impacts the fact that it is a new player in this system from a very veteran, very chemistry balanced back line.
Gold's first insertion. The Mountaineers building out of the back once again off the restart. Here's Gold's first touch. And it helps to have guys like Dengracia and Thiessen playing behind you. Plenty of experience in this West Virginia side that journeyed to the Elite Eight last season. And Thiessen, the guy to your right, is only on the Matt Kerman preseason watch list, was an All-American last year. And then, of course, you've got one of your captains out further.
It's a great ball.
And it was Thiessen again showing his ability to ping a ball out and start up play the other way. Jorgensen back for Bear. He's hardly put a foot wrong tonight, but that time shows too much of it to Awadesu. Good recovery from Jorgensen. And the pace turned up a notch again from this Mountaineer side. Then Gracia. Bear. Flowers steps up. Reversal of flanks for Jorgensen. Across the box. And across the back post, a shot that whistles just wide. Borla Yegi was trying to get in there with the stooping header. And then a blast over the bar. Penn State has a goal kick. The threats haven't stopped coming from this Mountaineer side. Errant ball from Ogunwale. Plenty of space for Dengracia to step up into. He's continuing his run into the box. Burchell. Overlap from Jorgensen. Stood up, back post. Watson rises high. Liscombe clears, but there's nobody forward for the Nittany Lions. It's one-way traffic right now, Juan Mendez.
Oh, it definitely is. You can see the amount of pressure that West Virginia puts. Still got Penn State on the ropes. They're up. Their urgency should have come from the blue and white from the Lions, but it is not happening so far as they're still in their own half, still barely putting in pressure as we see Liam Budds try to get something in there, and now Noah Gold with the ball and lots of green in front of him.
Jorgensen. Burchell has been flying forward tonight. Into the box. Off of Evans, trying to recover. As the Mountaineers continue to pinball. And Evans was unable to keep the ball in around the end line. It's going to be a free corner kick, you could call it, for West Virginia.
Certainly is, and if there's one thing you probably noticed there is Ogunwale doesn't feel too comfortable at this moment in that position as he's dealing with a lot to handle by Frederick Jorgensen on that left winger side for the Mountaineers, putting a lot of pressure. About 3 crosses in the past 4 minutes. Ogunwale and Evans with 2 minor mistakes there, but that could be very costly and become major if they don't watch out.
Borla Yegi right in the face of Shakes as Jorgensen's ready to take the corner. Towards the middle of the box, Dengracia couldn't touch it down. Flowers will chase after him. Burchell. Hit by Olakainen. It's deflected wide. Another corner.
Ogunwale might have taken that one in the rib cage. Might have knocked the wind out of him slightly as he is down laying on his back. Now sitting down.
He took that from point blank range. He's going to be helped to his feet. The training staff will retreat back to the touchline. And that's one of them that they say back in the day, knocked the wind out of you. He took it from point blank range.
Certainly, Olakainen had a lot of malice in that strike, and all that malice landed in Ogunwale's abdominal area.
Ogunwale's back up, certainly good to see. Zonal marking from the Nittany Lions on this corner. Brooks delivery. Shakes, comes out, and lays claim. Penn State backstop's been a spark all season long. He's trying to urge his team forward here. Flowers loses possession just as quickly. Just like that, the smiles turn sour again. Jorgensen in the last 18 minutes now. Nittany Lions trying to avoid an 0-2-1 start to the season. Non-conference has been a troubling spot for Penn State despite all of the in-conference success that they've had over the past 12 to 24 months. Runners-up finish in the Big Ten regular season standings and tournament standings back in the spring 2020 season, and then 2021 in the fall. They did the conference double, but 4-6-2 in their last 12 out-of-conference games, including the loss to Hofstra here in the second round of the NCAA's last winter. No extra time this season in non-conference play. So 17 minutes, try to get on the right foot. This is the right guy you want over the ball. Coons free kick. Back post, Lee had plenty of time to come out and be aggressive.
The one thing that Penn State needs is encouragement from the team itself. The players putting pressing units together, not doing those individual efforts. We've seen a lot of Lee and Butts running in, putting press on one person. Seth Kuhn always going to be there. Ben Liscombe, as we see right now, but pressing by units is a lot more effective if you're Penn State. And if you have 16 minutes to tie this game, not go 2 losses out of 3 games in the beginning of the season. And that's what Penn State needs, some energy, some motivation from the players. A lot of new pieces here, but if one thing you need to solidify is that chemistry, that motivation from the team itself is over there by the Mountaineers.
Penn State does get a corner kick, and the press starting to pay off. Liscombe got his side to throw, and off of that, the Nittany Lions now have corner kick number 5 of the evening. First in quite a while here in the second half.
Like I said before, right man to cross is Seth Kuhn, but it's it's going to be an in-swinger, so you're going to have Andrew Privet putting the ball in play.
Privet, already 1 assist on the season, 4 of them in 2021. Liscombe on the edge of the area, Butts in the box. Privet's near post cross, flicked on by Mangione through a forest of bodies. A shove in the back. It will be called, and Penn State up in arms. Seems they'll only get a corner out of it, but certainly still a set piece for the Nittany Lions to pounce on. They will give them the free kick after further protest, it looked like, from Ogunwale. Now a chance for Seth Kuhn. So many great deliveries in his time in the blue and white. Kuhn's take. Lee spills it, Butts on the doorstep, couldn't get there. Goal line clearance. Back for Flowers, who tried to catch Lee off his line, but into the gracious arms of the George Mason transfer. Penn State inches away from tying the game.
That was close. Indeed, a spill by Jackson Lee. Must have been a scary moment. His life flashed before his eyes, but he was able to regain that ball back. No goal was conceded, but very dangerous. West Virginia getting a little too comfortable here. 15 minutes left.
It's shown to Butts again, looking for the finish. He's got it. A man on a mission. First goal in 17 games. What a time for it. We're knotted up at 2.
If there's one thing we always ask for sure, is some good college soccer, and that is exactly what we have here tonight.
14.5 minutes for these sides to find a winner. Mountaineers have had the answer at every turn. We'll see what Penn State can bring.
This is one boxing match, Andre. One kind of boxing match we have here.
Seth Kuhn picks up assist number 1 on the Butts goal. Crowd here at Jeffrey Field starts to come back to life. We still haven't seen Dion Dromers ever since Noah Gold entered. Dromers has been rock solid at the back and also scored the second Mountaineers goal. Things Gracia. Room to operate. Penn State backing off. Now Privet finally steps up. Jorgensen. I would mention it has been a long time coming for Liam Butts, who had that breakout freshman season here in the blue and white. It's been plagued by injuries, has been plagued by rotation in the front line with the likes of Danny Bloyu and other effective men up top for the program. Only had 6 goals in his prior 33 games since his freshman season, where he broke out with 9, but finally getting on the end of one there. Jorgensen drags Olengawe. Olakainen, Bear. Then Gracia getting forward now. He can hit them. Takes a deflection, shakes. Easy for him to catch.
They both won it. And Gracia has pushed up twice in the past few minutes, getting another effort there for his team, trying to be the hero. Get a so valued win here at Jeffrey Field. The Mountaineers are not going to give up.
Dion Dromer set to re-enter for the Mountaineers. But right now it's Penn State asking all the questions. Evans. First time cross from Mangione, never got there. Thiessen was first to it.
That's a good move.
Now the Mountaineers can settle things down. Gold. Forward for Jorgensen. Privet's been dragged infield. Thiessen. Then Gracia. Watson does his job at the near stick. Bear. Adventurers ball forward. Cross into the box. Watson again, throwing everything he's got at it. Butts over the top. Can Mangione get on the end of it? Thiessen is first to it. And a renewed sense of energy across the stands here at Jeffrey Field, trying to urge on their side in the last 11 of this one. Jorgensen. Ogunwale recovers. Bettenhausen. Both sides want a free kick. Neither one's going to get it. Bear. Called for out wide. Looping cross out of play. Ogunwale has given everything he's had tonight. He's down in a stoop as Chris Shakes prepares to launch the goal kick.
He has gone through a lot, especially in the second half, and we saw him, he was limping back, trying to recover. And now we have what it looks like an instant substitution. Michael Gaines is on the sideline getting ready. As Ogunwale might be a cramp, might be something with a muscular issue. They're going for everything. They're doing the so-called 4-2-4. That's when you know you want a goal. 2 people in midfield to pass it to the 4 people with potential of scoring. Penn State really wants to go for it now.
Dromers rises high over Privet, leaving a chance for West Virginia counter. Good ball from McCormick, but just behind the intended target, Borlayegi. Hardly said his name tonight. Now Privet surging forward. He's got Evans out to his left. Here is Tiger Evans over Dengracia. He's down. Penalty. Instant protest from the Mountaineers. Tiger Evans, we've been waiting for his pace all game long. And he's got Penn State on the cusp.
We've been waiting for him all night long, and in a flash gets Penn State a penalty, but he's still down. It was a hard foul as Jackson Lee was coming out with lots of urgency, lots of speed, trying to get to that ball.
Dengracia was the guilty party. Evans is back up to his feet. And right now, on the spot, Jackson Lee still protesting, but he is going to have to face the right foot of Peter Mangione. There's another look. Juan, what are your thoughts?
Thoughts are Dengracia definitely arrived there a little bit late. The swipe was so fast of his foot. The tackle was so fast. If it clipped Tiger Evans, it was a very fast swipe, but by the action, the amount of speed that was in the play at that moment. You could definitely tell that there was the intention to get that ball away. It just all depends on the touch prior to the tackle, which is what referees are trying to figure out right now with the VAR replay.
Yeah, we're getting a stoppage here. There is video replay here for our assistants tonight. Now, there's protests from the West Virginia side, and I think you ask yourself, too, where did the foul occur? Because it was very close to the edge of the area. And remember, it's where contact is initiated. So if Evans falls into the box, but the contact comes outside of that white line, it would still be a normal free kick for the Nittany Lions.
That is absolutely right. He fell far into the box, but the speed that was happening in that play and trying to get a shot prior to the tackle might have sent him way forward. We do need to see that replay. We have to confirm what happened there. At least that's what referees are doing at the moment. Seeing where the foul occurred. Everybody in the sidelines standing. All the benches are up, waiting for the call.
The tensions have been high all night long. They don't get much higher than this. Fans standing around the complex. Mountaineers, hands on their shoulders, or on their sides, I should say. Here's the call. It is a spot kick.
Look who's there to take it, Andre.
Peter Mangione has yet to miss a penalty in the blue and white of Penn State. He's 3 for 3, and he scored in a penalty shootout 2 seasons ago in Bloomington against the Indiana Hoosiers. He looks cool, calm, and collected right now. He's trying to find the balancing act on the top of his head. This is the type of guy with the type of composure that you want to take a go-ahead spot kick.
That's one way to do it. Cold-blooded. Feel comfortable with the ball.
Now, word between the officials and Dengracia, of course, who also serves as the captain of this West Virginia side. He was the guilty party, so gets further explanation. Maybe a little gamesmanship as well, just to keep the thought in the brain of Mangione for a little while longer before he takes his spot kick. Rather 14 now career goals after his tally tonight for Peter Mangione. He has had 8 game winners. Will this be number 9? Right-footed shot against Jackson Lee. Mangione mashes it home. Mr. Game Winner. Peter Mangione, does he have another? Penn State's battled back all night long, and at long last, the Nittany Lions have a lead tonight.
We said this when he scored the first goal for Penn State today. We're going to say it again. Who else but Peter Mangione to bring something to this team, to bring a spark, to bring the light into Jeffrey Field? Just had to come back to Jeffrey Field and show why I earned those honors.
9:50 separating Penn State from its first win of the season. Evans, he's back for another bite at the apple. Goes down from the challenge of Bear. Referee keeping the whistle in his pocket at this juncture, much to the dismay of Jeff Cook. Trethaway. Vet of run, edge of the area, but it went out of play.
You cannot forget that West Virginia, this team, this formation is designed to attack from the edges, from the extremities of this formation. There's a yellow card.
Brooks has done a lot right. He wasn't happy about the signal that the ball went out of play, so he will enter the referee's book.
9 minutes left. The Mountaineers cannot fall in desperation, trying to tie this game. First time they've been down so far in this match.
And how much of that comes from frustration? Because they had the result right there. They were playing to the strength of their team, but it's defensive miscues. It's the foul on the counterattack that leads to the penalty. And then before that, the complete error playing out of the back. Not just once, multiple times that led to the Liam Butts goal. Strength has become their weakness. And now the Nittany Lions trying to ice it. First time ball. Here's Liam Butts. Down, penalty. Where has this come from? He's surged to life in this second half.
Liam Butts did not anticipate a pass of that quality, but he got there before anybody else. Similarly to how Tiger Evans did on the previous penalty call. And somebody, Mr. Hattrick, is lining up again at the penalty spot.
Peter Mangione scored the first Penn State hat trick since 2010 last season against Villanova. And he did it with a spot kick deep into the second half. He has a chance for another trio of goals here. He went to the goalkeeper's left his last time. And how about this? A straight red card for Ryan Baer, the engine in the midfield for West Virginia. There's been plenty of protest all night long, and the officiating crew had enough. A straight red. West Virginia's a goal down. They're a man down with 8:41 to go.
That is the frustration kicking in. Captain.
Well, Baer continues to be up in arms. His coach, Dan Stratford, is trying to minimize the damage again. Now you have one of your main midfield Mysterios out for your next contest. And boy, it is all gotten out of hand quickly for the Mountaineers.
This could be a statement win for Penn State. We know how great they are at riding that momentum once they acquire it. And this would be one way to acquire it if Mangione can seal this right now from the penalty spot as he takes some steps back.
Mangione wants his hat trick. Mangione hits the crossbar. Free kick awarded to the Mountaineers, and there still is life for West Virginia.
The short run up, his confidence was definitely there. Hits it slightly too high. Goalkeeper guessed right. Would have been unreachable. Mangione unable to get the hat trick. West Virginia, 8 minutes left, still alive. Very much alive.
They are down a man. We'll see how they fare. 10 v 11. Caldera out-muscles Gaines, but Privet's back to cover. And now Butts off the back shoulder. Thiessen, too much for him to handle right now. McCormick, he scored the first goal way back when. Draws a free kick here. Sandwich between Privet and Butts. Both teams have left offerings on the table. We'll see if the Mountaineers can make them pay. Trethaway couldn't pave away.
McCormick had the right idea, just not the right execution on that pass. A little bit too far forward. And the clock is going to continue to tick down.
Shakes will take his time. Ogunwale is looking to re-enter for the Nittany Lions. Andrew Privet will be the body who makes way. Gaines will go to a further advanced position, but certainly a more defensive change if you're the Nittany Lions to try to see out this result. Jeff Cook has talked time and time again about the ability of his team to be professional and see out results in a situation like this. They were unable to see that come to fruition against Rhode Island just over a week ago here at Jeffrey Field, but boy, what a bounce back this would be. 7 minutes away from their first win of the season. Now the Mountaineers set to throw the kitchen sink. Couldn't find Crooks. Anywhere will do for the Nittany Lions. Lee nearly handled that one. Force of habit sometimes. Long searching ball into the middle. Awadesu emerges second best on that challenge, but did enough to get his side a free kick.
That's the duel we keep talking about over and over. Awudesu and Caldera jumping for the ball, getting their head in there. Favors Awudesu in this one. Chris Shakes taking his time.
The Union product's been a staple at the back. 31st consecutive start for Femi Awudesu. Came off the bench the first 5 games of his freshman season, and from there, has simply been an automatic insertion into this Penn State squad. We're seeing a referee approach the touchline here. I saw maybe a couple of protests there from the Nittany Lions that an elbow had been raised, but official getting a sensor here in his earpiece as well. They'll head over to the West Virginia bench. Have a couple of words. Looks like they're just asking Dan Stratford to keep his personnel in the dugout, just settle things down here in the last 6 minutes or so. So no protest, no video referee interference. It'll simply just be a warning. A side that's already been cautioned, the Stratford's bench tonight. Chris Shakes can launch this ball on its way. Bud's cushioned header, Gaines was making an inspiring run. Lee had it calculated precisely. Crooks. Into Joseph Biafora. We're seeing enter the game the first time tonight. A big target man up front. Lee once again well off his line. See how well the goalkeeper can ping a pass. It's right onto the top toe of Crooks, but he's unable to bring it under his spell. Rivet set to re-enter. Michael Gaines will head off.
You have to give props to Michael Gaines, who does not often get as much playtime as he has done today, but filling in, bringing a lot of physicality in the midfield at the right wing-back position. It's been helping Penn State a lot for sure in acquiring this lead, especially with the activity in the second half.
Gaines' unfortunate injury prolonged the start of his Penn State career back in that spring 2021 season. There were no fall sports due to COVID that season, and an injury that caused him to miss out that entire conference-only campaign, but has come into form here this season. Here's another man in high-flying form, Tiger Evans. He's got 4 to run at, and he's leaving them all in his wake. Support from Butts. Thiessen steps up. Ogunwale. Privet. Penn State can hold the ball up as they race into the corner. Just 4.5 minutes for the Mountaineers to find an equalizer.
Start sending everybody to the Penn State half. That's a good move.
Chance in the box, still going. Caldera straight at Shakes. Really impressive stuff, just didn't have the end product. Now we see Nittany Lions continuing to labor. Seth Kuhn, most recent one to need assistance here from the training staff. He's 10-2 with 3:50 to go. Well, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule now for this Penn State team. If they're able to hammer home this first win of the season tonight, they'll pull back even at a record of 1-1-1, and then a gauntlet of an out-of-conference schedule starts to ease up a little bit. You've got a trip to George Mason, a winnable game, the Patriots side that struggled the last couple of seasons. You come back here to take on Lehigh in each of your next 2 games. So the schedule starts to lighten up a little bit for a Penn State team before they head into conference play.
It definitely lightens up in terms of them facing those 2 teams, but having this as a pace setter for those 2 games. George Mason, they played against them here at Jeffrey Field, and it ended up in a tie. It did get ended a little bit earlier that game, but nonetheless, it's still a good rival, a great rival. But for the expectations of this Penn State team, the leader in the Big Ten, it's a lot of expectations that they must accomplish. 2 games that must be wins if they want to continue that role.
Well, Seth Kuhn, a big round of applause as he comes to the touchline. Quentin Flowers will come in, definitely a more defensive midfielder, trying to help him finish out this result. Meanwhile, for West Virginia, They have a showdown with American University coming up for their next contest. Of course, we'll be without Ryan Baer. And definite period of time before they take on Yale. It's a Mountaineer side that has gone away from its strength here in the last couple of games, and they'll look to right the ship in each of their next couple of contests, but still plenty of time left in this one. Stratford urging his men forward. Ball over the top. Borlight Yegi is down and desperate for it. Shakes is going to take his time. He goes to ground. Not see if there was a kick out or not. Referee went over very quickly. It is just going to be a yellow card.
The referee had both cards in his hand. It looked like the red was sticking out a little bit more as he was running toward the play, but it was a yellow card after all. But very feisty moment there. Shakes holding his back.
Biafora had not been on the pitch very long tonight. He's had a couple of good opportunities, but Chris Shakes is able to draw the foul in a very testy situation. Clock's been reset here at Jeffrey Field. Currently shows 3 minutes, 5 seconds, so blowing the play back after the time it took to initiate that booking. There is about 25 extra seconds on the clock as it stands right now between our clock here on the scorebook separating Penn State from victory. And just over 3 minutes of time for Jeff Cook's squad to try to see this one over the line. Again, West Virginia's playing down a man. Penn State trying to see out the result. Ryan Baer sent off after a second penalty kick was awarded to the Nittany Lions in the closing stages of this game. Peter Mangione hit the crossbar, a chance to put the Nittany Lions 2 goals up, and that has left the door open for Dan Stratford's men, who have shown plenty of resiliency in the last 12 months or so. An NCAA Elite 8 appearance. Trethaway. Cannon off of Privet. Jorgensen. Jorgensen's cross, stooping header. Evans can chase, and Evans can run off the back line. Lee is well off his line. Tiger Evans. A run at Thiessen. Evans can't get the shot away.
That's a brilliant tackle by Thiessen. 2 minutes left.
Perfectly timed, and now a chance for a West Virginia counter. Numbers rolling towards the box. An ambitious effort well over the top. Clock stopped with 1:50 to go as some cars over there on Park Avenue nearly caught a unwanted guest on their windshield, but the bounce of the ball remains true. Seth Kuhn is back on for this last minute 50.
That Tiger Evans run reminds me of the metaphor, you know, the third lung. Players that have the third lung, that capacity to run to the point that in your head it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how tired you are.
Mangione still has time for a hat trick. Lions throw. They'll be all too eager to take this one into the corner flag, but instead a kind ricochet. 1:09, clock continues to run. But wins his side a free kick. That could do it, Juan Mendez.
That could do it. That could do it. Clock is still ticking down. Now under a minute.
Let's talk about the reemergence of a guy like Liam Butts, as he's going to stand over this one here with Evans. Penn State was looking for options. They were looking for consistency from their forward group. And they got it tonight. 2 from Mangione, 1 from Liam Butts. Their star men up top came to play just when they were being questioned if they could find that end product up top.
And that is exactly what we received in this match. The 2 guys with the most expectations probably for this Penn State team, answering those questions in formidable fashion.
Privet tries his luck. It's wide. Just 7 seconds left, and it looks like Jackson Lee won't even be able to launch another attack as the clock ticks down, and see what it means to the blue and white. Penn State's in the win column in 2022. It was a come-from-behind effort, down 1-0, down 2-1, but see what the smiles mean. 3-2, Penn State takes it tonight.